Hello, this is Doug Diggle. I'm reporting for Cruising Authority at cruisetalkshow.com. This is part 2 of a 3-part series featuring the brilliance of the seas out of Dubai. Enjoy the show.
We're talking with Paul Lancaster, the cruise director aboard the Brilliance of the Seas. Paul, it's really a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. It really, really is.
Now, how did you become a cruise director?
I've been lucky enough to be with the Royal Caribbean now for about 4.5 years. I came in as a cruise director staff running activities. From then I was lucky enough to be part of the Independence Takeout, the launch team of one of our newer ships, where I got the opportunity to meet with some of our shoreside personnel, some of our managers that work in Miami. I auditioned for the role of activities manager. So stepped up to the next step there. I was doing that for about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. And then from then on, I was lucky enough to be offered a role as cruise director on the Legend of the Seas. And yeah, a lot of right time, right place, and a lot of fun.
This is no ordinary cruise itinerary. Tell us about your thoughts on this itinerary.
Well, we've been in this part of the world now for about 6 weeks, so it's been a bit of a learning curve. Very, very different to what most employees and most guests have ever experienced before. The industry is relatively new in the Middle East, but it's very culturally diverse and very, very interesting. The ports of call offer a completely unique experience to what a lot of other cruise ship guests would have experienced before, whether it be the Caribbean or Europe or some of our Asian itineraries. We get a very, very guest demographic on board, which allows us to be a little bit more creative with what we do. It can sometimes be more challenging with being able to predict exactly how our programs and our product offering is going to be received and how well things work. But it's certainly, as an employee, it certainly keeps us on our toes on board.
Well, with such a diverse mix of passengers, have you had to change or alter your entertainment schedule a little?
I think that's part of the craft. Regardless of what ship you're on and what demographics you're experiencing, you have to know your audience. And it's about tailoring your work and tailoring certainly your entertainment program to suit different guest demographics needs. A guest from the US will behave differently and have different expectations to a guest from the United Kingdom or a guest from mainland Europe. And obviously with different demographics comes the challenge of language. Communication is a big part of what we do. So we have to really take that in mind and consider being able to communicate and getting the languages across to our guests.
Paul, thank you very much for being on Cruising Authority.
It's a great pleasure. It really is. Thanks for having me.
Really quick, I want to tell you about Cruises Only at cruisesonly.com. They're the world's largest cruise-only agency and get the best amenities, discounts, and upgrades available. So contact Cruises Only at cruisesonly.com or 1-800-CRUISES.
We're in the main dining room on the Brilliance of the Seas, and I'm with the food and beverage manager. Where are you from and what's your first name?
My name is Marcus and I'm from Switzerland originally, however I choose to live in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. So now I'm a proud Aussie.
Oh, great, great. This is a very challenging itinerary here in the Middle East. So I imagine food and the choice of the menus is very difficult sometimes. What have you done to customize the menu for the guests on board?
Well, we have a big challenge here in the Middle East, especially the guest mix we have, and of course we have 45 different nationalities and a lot of local people now joining us, and they are called halal. That's a special meal they have, halal meat. And of course there's no pork in that, but it's a special way they slaughter the animals and so on. We need to be extremely careful what we do. So we have adapted the menu to a certain extent and make sure we can offer some speciality, especially to those people. Yeah.
Okay, and I've noticed that there's a lot of British people on board. Have you adjusted the menu at all for the Brits?
Yes, we do have a couple. The Royal Caribbean menus, we have sort of a standard set of menus, but we have a choice of taking, say, some Mediterranean food with us. Also, then we got a British menu, a British 2 menu, and so on. And then they make a bit of a mix for that. Yeah, the British count is always the highest here in the Middle East. They like the Middle East. Yeah.
What other nationalities do you have on board that's maybe the second and third count?
Well, that's changing every cruise. But say, for instance, at the moment we would have over 200 German guests. At the next cruise we have over 200 Scandinavians, and then the following cruise we have over 300 400 Chinese because it's Chinese New Year. So it's changing every single time. On this, the British count is the highest, and then followed by some other nationalities, and then especially say like the Middle Eastern people now they come and join us.
There was something else I found interesting about the alcohol and about in the Middle East, purchasing of the alcohol in wines. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, that can be a challenge if you run out. I tell you, go and buy some wine in a Muslim country. It's almost impossible. So we have our standard orders, which we order via the containers we get from America, and then that gets shifted to us. And it's a 10-week lead. So if you, of course, have something, you run out of a certain product, suddenly one wine is more popular with a certain group of people, then you're stranded there. You have to be very, very creative. And we have a contact in Egypt which delivers us the Fucella, believe it or not. So there we have a little bit of a fallback. And now also we established you have extra items in a warehouse in Dubai. So that's the first time this season as well.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting.
So when we have, sometimes you cannot always gauge exactly what we need. So what we order, and then if we don't sell it, we leave it in Dubai. And the next cruise maybe we sell it, and then we can pick it up again. Yeah, so it's a bit easier. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
At Across Oceans Group, we help corporations on a global basis prevail in the hospitality, cruise line, tourism, and travel agencies worldwide. You can contact us at www.acrossoceansgroup.com, or you can send us an email. You can email me directly at Douglas, Douglas, .diggle, Diggle, at acrossoceansgroup.com. Thank you.
We had a lovely time each evening dining with our friends from the UK. I even had a chance to show a few magic tricks, which also entertained our waiters. The food was good on board the Brilliance of the Seas. I can always count on Royal Caribbean to produce a great dining experience. I particularly enjoyed dining in the specialty restaurant on board called Portofino. Another observation I had with the ship was the artwork throughout the stairwells and around the Brilliance of the Seas. I usually don't stop to look around at the art, but on the Brilliance of the Seas there was a few pieces that caught my eye, including this ocean liner Art Deco themed panel depicting mostly scenes of the original Queen Mary, and a Titanic themed panel. I have to mention the amazing pool tables on the Brilliance of the Seas, which have a gyro built into the tabletop so the table can remain perfectly level even when the ship is pitching and moving through the sea. It was fascinating to watch these pool tables adjust to the movement of the ship, instantly keeping the balls from rolling all over the table. I hope you'll watch for our third and final episode filmed here aboard the Brilliance of the Seas as we visit an incredible mosque in Abu Dhabi and tour the world's most luxurious hotel, Burj Al Arab in Dubai. You've been watching part 2 in a series of 3 shows featuring the Brilliance of the Seas in this unique itinerary out of Dubai. Thanks for watching. Make sure you catch episode number 3. This is Barry with Cruising Authority at cruisetalkshow.com.